The Devil's Wanton Wallflower, Rogues Gone Dirty, Book 7, written by Bella Moxie, performed by Rachel Woods. Prologue. Devil stood at the edge of the docks, his leather boots firm against the worn wood beneath him. The salty air filled his lungs, but he barely noticed. His men moved around him, their voices a cacophony of orders and laughter. But to Devil, it was all just background noise. His eyes were locked on the blackened sea, and his mind was elsewhere, consumed by his frustration. The scuffle of boots behind him, ones much too fanciful to belong to any of his men, drew him from his thoughts. Devil turned, watching as John Martin, one of King's men, led a boy and a woman toward a carriage. His eyes were immediately drawn to the woman beside the solicitor. She stood next to Martin, her eyes wide and innocent, her presence incongruous in this grim setting. For a moment, Devil's heart skipped a beat, and his anger evaporated, replaced by an emotion he couldn't quite name. And as if feeling his stare, she froze, her eyes locking onto him. Devil approached the trio as if he didn't have a choice, the woman drawing him in with a force he couldn't explain.
"What brings a pretty little thing like you to my neck of the woods, eh?"
Devil asked, feeling a sneer forming on his lips. Martin stepped in front of the woman, shielding her from Devil's view. "If you know what's good for you, you'll let us pass." Devil chuckled low, feeling the tension in the air thicken.
"He thinks he can protect her from me."
"I know who you are," Martin said, his voice steady. Devil's men shuffled out of the shadows behind him, their boots scraping against the cobblestones. He glanced at them briefly, before locking eyes with Martin again.
"Then you know this is my territory."
"I know King gave it to you."
"He gave me nothing."
Devil interrupted, his voice rising. The audacity of this man, thinking he knew anything about his struggles, his sacrifices. "He helped you to take over this territory," Martin continued, unfazed. Devil spat on the ground, his frustration boiling over.
"Aye, but what's he done to help me keep it, eh? I asked."
"You ought to know as well as anyone that King doesn't fight another man's battles," Martin retorted. Devil's eyes darkened as he studied Martin. Then he nodded toward the building the group had just exited.
"I don't need him to fight my battles. I need an ally, but not with those who are in bed with the enemy."
Martin held his hands up. "No, I give you my word, we're not working with that man."
Sample complete. Ready to continue?